Welcome to Startup Passport by Econsulate. Today here we are at the AI Asia Summit by SLASSCOM Sri Lanka, and we're here with Eddie Marsden-Jones, who's also a consultant for digital transformation at Econsulate, where we are part of, and we want to delve into his experience in multiple industries in the past, as well as what he has experienced in terms of different tech booms that he has experienced in his span of work as well. So thank you very much, Eddie, for being a part of this show.
Pleasure.
And as I've started the podcast, what have you seen in your experience during your time, especially in different tech booms that you've experienced in different areas and industries where you've been a part of? Could you touch upon a bit of industries as well that you're a part of?
Not just AI, you mean tech booms. I mean, you're going to make me feel very old now. So, I started when DOS was around, and there was no mobile computing, so there was no laptops, nothing like that. And that whole sweeping change of the industry when people would start using laptops, but no Wi-Fi, so you could only connect when you're plugged into your docking station, and then comes Wi-Fi, and then comes proper networking and multimedia, and it just builds and builds and builds. And one of the interesting aspects of that is sometimes multiple things come together and allows you to make a significant move, a transformation. And I think with AI, people have been trying to get the most out of data since the first data was available, right from the start. But AI has got access to a mass of data. It's a huge quantity, incomprehensible quantities that allow it to truly learn and move forward. And there's data storage, processing power, and things like that. Probably gone slightly off track with your question, but I in the aviation industry, I issued the first ever iPhones to the board, and that was to give them near real-time data, 24 hours access to data. As before, they always looked at a board report. There was a month old. We gave the first iPads to pilots, digitized the cockpits. We did projects for, I get to AI with aircraft turnaround and things like that. The first person to implement Wi-Fi in a moving aircraft, a flying aircraft. I went through all the certifications for all of that. It's been a long journey, but the IT industry keeps throwing stuff at you that you can then, utilize, adopt, and exploit. It's never ending. I could pick at any stage something we've done.
So the connection between IT and just about any business is so strong that sometimes the leaders cannot look away from the changes that are happening in the IT space. But there could be certain moments that certain reluctancy comes into the decision making. How have you navigated those moments, and what, in your experience, is it happening still, or what is the trajectory that the businesses are heading these days?
Well, it's a never-ending love-hate relationship that a business will have with IT. IT wears out and it becomes obsolete, and therefore it has a finite life and it costs money, and businesses hate that. But at the same time, IT is a solution, and it keeps you up to date. It gives you innovation. It allows you to exploit things. It brings better benefits. So always it's a double-edged sword, and it always will be. Like, AI now will wear out and be replaced by AI 2.0 or whatever it might be. So it's our job to bring these innovations and opportunities to the business while managing the obsolescence of what we've done before. And it won't change. It's great for us because we've always got the opportunity, but the business will always think, you implemented this 2 years ago and it's now not doing the job, and you're telling me you got to replace it. So, the key is to be able to manage the business, not advise the business, and collaborate with the business to do this. And you see a rise of CIOs and CTOs and CDOs on the boards, becoming more and more and more, the CEO's right-hand man, and that's where you see it, and that's going to continue.
And you've seen the, different tech booms, or like what you've mentioned in the past, these revolutions from different geographies. You've seen it from UK, you've seen it from Dubai, you've seen it, now you're seeing it from Sri Lanka as well. What were the significant differences in each geography? If you could, highlight a few, and also some similarities.
The big one in Dubai is they have the money and they like to be at the cutting edge. It's very easy to get a business case for an innovation into Dubai, and you see the digital economy, and from car parking to all the e-commerce to everything's just run off your mobile. You put an idea out there and they'll just grab it. In an industry like Germany, they are still really obsessed with engineering. So sometimes it's the solution, and if you can convince them you've got a really well engineered, up-to-date software solution, it's well made, it's tough, it's built to last, it's great, they love that. So sometimes from our perspective as a business, the person you need to convince is actually an engineer, not the CEO, and then the engineer says, yeah, it's okay.
So to go a little bit beyond your answer there, I want to highlight the startup aspect that we are focusing in this podcast as well, because a lot of our viewers are from startup ecosystems around the world. What is your advice or your take on globalization of the products that they currently do have, in considering taking their products to different markets? What are the key aspects that they need to follow as well as to be aware of?
Well, I think the market's changed fairly rapidly, so you have to move, pretty swiftly to, if you've got a new product, how long is it going to remain new and current and things? But at the same time, you've got to get some good case studies and quick wins under your belt. So I think part of the investment in the product is also in getting it rolled out and proving that it works. If you've got that and you've got some case studies and you've got some happy customers, it's easier to get it out there with referrals and with proving that you can give an ROI and things like that. So be prepared to move rapidly, but part of that is getting the product out there, and you might have to take a hit on a few small wins to get those under your belt, which also gives your team confidence, gives your sales team a lot of confidence as well.
Lastly, Eddie, we've spoken to a number of people from big companies around the world in this podcast as well. One of the areas they're focusing is to work with young startups or innovative startups. How do you think, in your view, how important is it to see this collaboration growing between the big companies and the startups?
Like one word answer is very. But from the small startup point of view, usually the large corporates and the large IT companies are going to give you access to a customer base that you haven't got. So the advantage for you in collaborating with the big boys is the chance of you hitting a customer or customers is much more improved. From their point of view, that's really how they get the innovation and the new ideas coming out. They will invest masses in their own innovations, but they often miss a trick in the market or with a customer base. This is why the big boys do a lot of acquisitions. and it's a good way of mopping up some core technologies, even though you're investing lakhs after lakhs after lakhs into the innovation in there. Someone's also out there, in a different sphere, going to get the trick, and that's what's in it for the big boys. So it can be very mutually collaborative and harmonious.
And what are the few challenges? If you name a few challenges around it, what would be few key challenges that you see in those collaborations
between the big and the little ones? Well, the risk for the little ones, you've got a big partner who's overly dominant, sucks your soul away. It's really just after your product and not you. So they're not all like that, but it's you got to get that relationship right from your side, because it is your product. It is your pride and joy and your baby. From the big boys, there is a little bit of naivety and immaturity around the smaller ones. They do know the markets better and how to engage with the big customers and get the returns on investments and things. So you might be coming across as a little bit immature, I guess, to the bigger boys, who will definitely think they know best. But again, it's the harmony and collaboration that works. You've got to keep your identity. You've got to keep your freedom to innovate, but at the same time, you want that customer base. You want their support. They de-risk things. They give you investment if you're lucky.
Thank you very much, and that was a great session especially for the startups who are listening to us, to navigate through your aspirations and reach new markets, reach new customers. Thank you very much, Eddie Marsden-Jones, who's also a consultant for digital transformation at Econsulate. Thank you for joining with us.
Pleasure. Thank you very much.